All right, good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Twin Stick Garage. So on today's episode, I am not going to be working on the Peterbilt. Still got to wait for Blake to come over and help me with the buck rivets on the door skins. But my plan's actually going to be to do some more work on the TransAm. And I know all the truck fans out there are just collectively groaning, but I really want to get this TransAm built. Actually, Mrs. Twin Sticks just put down a challenge to me and said, hey, it would be really cool if I could drive this car in front of the Snowman rig to the Let's Go show in September. So that's going to be my primary focus now. I really want to get this car done. So that's what I'm going to work on again today. If you remember the last episode, I pulled out the differential out of the back end there. And I mentioned in that episode that I was going to send it to the gear center. But then I remembered I actually rebuilt one of these back in high school. Now, obviously that was a long time ago, but they're not that complicated. And I've reached out to a company called Quick Performance out of Iowa, and they're going to be sending me a new differential and new axles and new bearings and seals. So that's going to be rebuilt in an upcoming episode. I want to do that myself, and you can see how old Twin Sticks rebuilds an 8.5-inch diff. Going to work on the interior today. I'm going to try and obviously got to get the Snowman truck out and then set the car down. I want to gut the interior because obviously that, as classy as that red is, it's not movie correct. So I'm going to gut the entire interior, and then I'm going to paint the inside of the car gloss black, and then I'm going to paint the outside of the car gloss black, obviously, and then I can redo all the interior panels. So I'm going to gut the interior today. That's going to be the plan. I've been doing a bunch of work on the Duke. If you go check out my Patreon, those episodes are all there. I got the Conmet hubs on there. I've got the Conmet drums. I still got to do a little bit of work treating all the rust and rebuilding the back end here, but it's coming along nicely. I've been doing some work on the most recent Patreon episode on the Duke here. I put the dash, the custom built dash that I got from my buddy Carmen in New Jersey. And man, this is just going to be such a cherry piece for this truck. I can't wait. I can't wait to get it installed. Now, there is a heck of a lot of wiring to go. Trucks are pretty straightforward compared to like new cars with LS engines. But it's still, I'm going to have to sort that out. I mean, this is just the HVAC side. So that's going to be in an upcoming episode, is me working on that and getting this truck wired up to run and hopefully painted. And yeah, I guess with that, I'm going to get the Snowman truck started, roll it outside. Springtime in Alberta, my butt. It's not giving up. It snowed again last night, but that's okay. We'll put Snowman out in the snow and get working on the TransAm. Okay, let's see if she'll go. Oh, loyal. Get outside before I smoke the shop out. So while I let Snowman warm up a little, I might actually put Snowman to work this morning. So if you're a Patreon, you'll know that recently when it was warm and the snow was melted, I thought, oh, it's springtime. So I actually moved my camper and put it in front of the house. And then I actually took the tarp off of the Snowman trailer to see if it actually protected it over the winter. And if you're a Patreon, you know the results of that. And if you're not, check this out. Okay, my curiosity is killing me. Oh no. Oh man, it's worse than I thought. Just kidding. So it actually worked really well. I'm really pleased with how the tarp protected it over the winter. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. No damage whatsoever. I was worried a little bit that the tarp might rub on some of the humps with a little bit of the fluttering when it would get on a windy day, but it actually turned out really nice. So what I want to do now is I'll grab the Snowman truck, I'll click onto the trailer, and I'm going to pull it forward so it's lined up with the shop, because that way is west, and that way at least it's somewhat protected from the old UV. I don't want the sun shining on it where it currently is. Plus, all of Mrs. Twin Stick's patio furniture is stuffed inside the trailer, and I can't get to it because it's blocked with the trees. So I'll pull it forward and get two birds stoned at once here. I can't help it. Every time I look at this setup, it makes me smile. I mean, how could you not? That'll do, Snowman. That'll do. Okay, let's get to work. Ooh, look at what we have here. Future episode. All right, so I just did a little bit of cleaning up in the shop here, put my tools away from last week, cleaned up the lift a little bit, and now what I thought I might do is lower the scissor lift down, because I don't necessarily need the back end up so high, and I'm not doing any work here today, so I think I'll just set this down. So just raise it up to lift it off the lock. There, something like that. Oh, good movie. I still can't believe I got the Snowman rig sitting out in the snow. That's so awesome. And in due time, I'll have the Bandit TransAm. And then all I'll need is the Buford cop car. So I'm actually considering trying to recreate this whole intro. Let me know in the comments if you think that would be a good idea. I might need some help from my buddy Blake to do that, but I think that'd be pretty cool. All right, something like that. So as I was saying at the start of the episode, the interior in this car, if you're new to this channel, is 70s red, which is kind of cool. And as cool as my daughter thinks it is, it's not going to work because it's not movie correct. So that's going to be the goal today, is to delete all of this classy 70s red.
They call you the Bandit.
Oh, I forgot how cool this car is. Oh, I love it. Okay, so I guess first up, I might as well get the T-tops off and then get the seats out. And is that an authentic Burt Reynolds signature? Okay, I had to look for the key for the trunk. There we go. Now, what I was thinking of doing is just putting the T-tops in here for now. speedier than that. This is going to be speedier than that when I get finished with it. Okay. Now all this chrome, what do you call these? Trim, moldings. Well, not really moldings. I guess it would be trim. The doesn't match the movie. So I'll probably have to take all of it off and get it sandblasted and powder coated black. These T-tops should never be on the car unless it's in storage. It should always be off. It's just not as cool with it, with them on there. Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. Done. Okay, so I guess I'll just start tearing into it. There's nothing to save here because basically everything inside this car has a red tint, or if it doesn't have a red tint, it's all rotten and corroded, so it's all going to need to be replaced. So I'll just start unscrewing stuff. Now, if anyone out there knows where there's good interior panels or anything interior-wise that would be black or the gold, I'm looking for any of that stuff. So hit me up at twinstickgarage@gmail.com. Send me a note on that. And yeah, I guess the other tip for the day is when you're taking apart a car, when you're doing a restoration, you can never have too many bins. So I picked these up from Princess Auto. They're like $4 or $5 a piece. And I try and collect up all the components and at least group them together. So today's going to be interior, so I'll try and keep all these bins in the same spot because you never know when you're going to need a little clip or a little screw. A lot of stuff gets replaced new when you do a restoration, but it's still always a good idea to keep all that stuff till the car's done because you never know what you're going to need. Now, if you saw at the beginning of the episode, I do have a 1980 parts car sitting out behind the shop, so I do have that benefit. So if I need things like, you know, door locks or any little pieces of trim, hopefully if I lose it in one of these bins because I didn't put it away or it's in bad shape, I can steal it off of that car and hopefully put most of the stuff together. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to buy most of this stuff new. So with that, I guess I'll just start tearing into it. Now it's a good idea to get yourself one of these little upholstery tools. And the way that works, it just pries these little plastic guys out without issue. Now the power windows on this car are actually controlled in the center there. And I had a mishap when I was driving this car last summer where this switch stopped working. So that's why that window's been down ever since. So I don't know if it's a bad connection there or a bad connection somewhere between there and the door. But obviously going to get that fixed. But just looking at this is pretty, boy, that's not going to ground out at all. Definitely we're going to plan to fix that up. And it's interesting how this works. It just moves little cables around on the joystick to adjust the mirror. See? Yeah, the engineers were pretty smart back then. Okay, so what I'll do is finish taking these clips off. And I'm wondering, I might even reach out to, hang on, Mark, one thing at a time, get this done. Okay, I might even reach out to the day cab company. Now, they only do upholstery on big trucks that I'm aware of, but I wonder if they could take these templates and make me some black ones. I might reach out to them, see what they can do with that. So, with the door, I'm still debating if I'm going to steal the doors off my parts car. Because when I had the door up, this one doesn't sit perfectly, but it could just be I need to make some adjustments to the hinges there. But there was, I think the door on the other side, you can tell there's a whole bunch of Bondo in the bottom corner. But I may just see if I can realign these, and if there is Bondo, cut that out and then just weld in some new metal. That's probably easier than swapping the entire door. Someday mine will look like that, I hope. Man, that was unfun. So that's one of the bolts. I gotta give credit to the GM engineers. That is one of the bolts that you can only get just a bit of the wrench on there, and you can only do like a 16th or an 1/8 of a turn at a time. Just brutal to get down in there. Awful, awful spot. But it's out of there now. Okay. So I guess I can take the center console off, the dash, the visors, and the back seat, and all the seat belts. I actually did, there was a guy on Kijiji that was selling parts out of TransAm, parting it out. And that's where I got the center console with the Burt Reynolds official signature on it. And he sold me the seat belts as well, black seat belts. So at least I got that going for me. Okay. All right, I have to say that the Torx heads bolts that they typically use on seat belts are just, you know, the GM engineers, that was a dumb design, because there's just so little material there before it just strips out. So what I normally do is I use a sledgehammer and hammer the socket in as deep as I can get it, just to get as much bite as I can. But I'm gonna have to replace those. Just not a fan of these at all. Okay, so now once I get the seat belts out, I should be able to, come on, don't strip. Oh, that's in there. Once I get the seat belts out, I should be able to tackle the center console, and then I should be able to get the carpet out as well. Now it's unfortunate because the previous owner of this car, he started restoring it, and I think he just got bored of it. He was a Dodge man, so that's why he sold the project kind of half started, half completed, and his loss is my gain, I guess. But he ended up putting a new carpet in the car, which is going to be useless to me. I guess I'll save it, and maybe I could sell it on Kijiji or something to someone who's trying to do a red interior. Be cool to find someone that would trade straight across all the red stuff for the black stuff. It's funny because the more I work on trucks and now cars, it's not that complicated. It's all just nuts and bolts. So if you're thinking of restoring an old car, your old dream car was a Trans Am or something else, I encourage you to go out there and find one and just start picking away at it like I did, with little by little. And you kind of learn as you go. I mean, I've never restored a muscle car or a truck before. I got little by little. And you just kind of, you know, learn as you go. And if you don't know, you can watch a YouTube video or you can ask people that have done it before. But at the end of the day, like I say, it's not that complicated, and it sure is fulfilling. It's something else to be able to know every nut and bolt and wire on your car. It's quite a feeling, actually. And to put all that work in and to eventually get it on the road, it's just magical. My plan's going to be is to gut the interior and then clean up the metal, and then I'm going to paint the inside. I'm going to do the paint in 2 stages. I'm going to paint the inside of the car and all of the, what are this, door sills, or the inside of the door frames, and the inside of the doors, and all the pillars, and have all that painted, and then I can mask that off, and well, do all the bodywork on the outside, mask that off, and then paint the outside of the car. So kind of the inside, paint it from the inside out, the inside, the engine compartment, the trunk, and then, like I say, I'll, at another episode down the road, I'll end up painting the outside of the car, and then I bolt all the fun stuff on there.
Hi! Piece of cake!
Oh my God, my car.
Now, what I'm doing as well is I want to label all these components. Again, as I mentioned numerous times, I'm planning to replace them with all the black ones. But some of these are actually metal. And something that's metal, I could hang and easily paint it black, so I don't need to buy another one. So I'm just making sure I know this one's the windshield and that one's for the back. I imagine they're slightly different shape, and I could have figured it out anyway, but it's still worth the time to save the confusion later. And I still can't believe that this upper T-top deal is just a paper. And that's what the headliner actually glues to, is that cardboard mess. Oh, my movie's over. Better put on something else. All right, I think the carpet's just about ready to come out of here. Oh, there's some patch panel work the previous owner did. Looks pretty good, actually. Gotta go to work. What's holding in progress here? Okay, one carpet. Cool. All right, let's take a closer look here. So I believe because this is the lowest spot on both sides, that's probably where any moisture would sit, and then it would rust out, because it looks like there was a couple of patch panels made, and that looks like some Pour 15 paint that was put over it. And then, but yeah, everything else looks really solid. That looks factory. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe that was a patch panel by somebody else along the way. Yeah, now that I look at it closer, that is not factory. That looks like some bubblegum welds that go all the way around there to make that patch panel. That's probably a factory sealant put in there. And another little, well, I don't know. You think that's factory? I don't know. The spot welds, it may be. But I mean, overall, it looks very solid in here. So, and the main reason you're probably going, well, Mark, why are you painting the inside of the car? Well, the main reason is because of this part here, the metal part underneath the windscreen or windshield. So I've actually got a fan local to me that's got his own glass shop. So he's going to come and help me take this out of here, hopefully not break it. And that way I can properly paint that and then paint everything else. But that way I can get the inside of the door jambs, and then everything else, any of the metal that peeks through will be nice shiny black. So that's a little rotten there. I might get out the old Arc Captain TIG welder and see if I can't fix that. But yeah, it's not very complicated, these old cars from the 80s. Come on, Hawk. All right, so I guess next is I got to get the dash off of here. Now, the owner that sold me the car, he actually had a brand new black plastic dash because I think maybe he was considering converting it over to black as well. So I'm not too worried about cracking this as it comes out of here, but I'll see what I can do to salvage it. But getting on the final throws of the interior here, it actually wasn't that hard. A few hours of work and it's gutted. You ain't got a prayer in Vegas. I love this show. Man, that was quite the treat. So in order to get the emergency brake assembly out of the way so I could get this plastic kick plate, there's two nuts on the other side of the firewall. So I had to raise the car up, go in there, reach around the inner fender and get that off of there. So another lovely design by the engineers at Pontiac. Because now that I can get this out of the way, I can get that one last screw that was holding the panel on, that was behind this. Oh man, that's so stupid. Okay. There. Yeah, that could have been designed a little better. What's all that epoxy or mud or looks like Play-Doh? Oh, somebody was trying to seal up the vent hole there. Okay, well, because there's no vent in this one. I remember my old Chevy pickup didn't have air conditioning, and it had a little deal you could pull in and out, and it would open up the vent and it would give you fresh air down at your feet. I wonder if that was an option on the non-air conditioning cars. I'll have to go look at the Pontiac Firebird in the back is not a TransAm, it's a Formula, I think, which was kind of the middle of the road. So I'll have to go check that out and see if that one had that vent. Okay. Well, now I know how to take a emergency brake assembly out of a Firebird. Oh, come on. There it goes. Oh, it's just excess glue from when they put in the rear window. Okay. Rear window wing. I'm doing it. I'm a trucker. Look at me go. This is the stage of the project that's testing my skills, my patience, and my resolve. Trying to get this dash out. I could see why the previous owner didn't bother going through all this trouble, because you've got to take a lot of pieces off to get this foam dash surround off the car, but I can't leave it. I mean, it's cracked. So even if I wanted to paint it, I still have the cracks to deal with, so it's got to be replaced, especially since I've got one. So I just got to go through the process of unbolting, unsnapping, and just generally taking all the goodies out. Oh man. Oh, whoop. Oh, this was gold before? Huh. Oh yeah, right. Unscrew that marker. Oh, I wonder if I can clean it up and make it gold again. Let me show you. Check that out. I took one of the rings off and it's actually gold in behind there. So I wonder if a guy could take all the rings off and clean the silver and make this gold, because it actually should be gold. Oh, I'm missing a little light. Missing the signal light cover there. but it's supposed to be gold for the Bandit edition.
Are we really going 110? We're going 110.
Okay, now I guess I got to start taking gauges out. Yeah, it's gold everywhere. Okay, lots of little 5/16 bolts. I guess I'll get a new bin started. Now I shouldn't have to take, I probably can just unscrew them. Well, do I need to? I'm not sure how this comes off of here. It would sure be nice to leave them in place, right? And then just take this foam deal off, but I imagine it's probably held in behind somehow. Well, it's not gonna come apart by itself, Mark. You're just gonna have to rip off the Band-Aid and start unscrewing stuff. Oh man, I don't want to do that job again. Now it was pretty, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments down below about how that was the wrong way to do that, but I couldn't figure out how else to get the old red dash cover off of the, what is it, fiberglass or plastic? Looks like plastic dash. So I just started breaking it off piece by piece. Now I'll obviously have to work a little harder and get all the last little bits off of there, but I wanted to test out. So this is the new dash cover that came with the car that the previous owner bought but never installed. So we'll just do a quick mock-up of it. There, instant pretty. Yeah, I'm not overly impressed with the fit. Maybe I'll see if there's a better dash cover than this one, because this one seems something's off. Well, at least that hideous red is out of there. I don't know if somebody trimmed it back. I wonder if that's what the previous owner did, was to try and trim it to fit it over the red over top. Because it looks like, yeah, it looks like someone did some cutting. Yeah, that's why. If you look there, you can see that's the mark of a grinder. So whoever had this before did a little trimming on this guy, which is probably why it's not going all the way in now. Darn it. Okay. Well, like I say, I'll just have to order another one. But you get the idea. You get the idea. It'll just go over there like that. I'll put some, what's that stuff I use? Same stuff I used on the ring to seal the aluminum there, that 3M stuff. I'll just squirt that all over the dash and then press it on and then use some clamps to hold it in place. Well, good enough for now. The real reason though I wanted to attack getting the interior out was to paint this part. I just couldn't leave that red. I couldn't do it. Okay, I think with that I'm going to call it a day on the TransAm. My fingers are pretty badly cut up. But I did purchase something recently that I want to assemble and check out in the spirit of the movie we just watched. So a while ago when I was thinking about the Over the Top movie, I was actually thinking I should really get Blake to help me weld up an arm wrestling table for the shop. That way whenever Blake or Dallas or any of my friends stop by, we could have a little arm wrestling competition, because I used to do this a lot when I was in high school. And then I thought, well, I wonder if you can actually just get an arm wrestling table that's pre-made on Amazon. And sure enough, you can. So here is my impulse buy of the week, is a professional arm wrestling table.
All right, let's get this table ready. Let's go. Come on. I want to show this guy something. Come on, let's break his arm off.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Now I just need to get the arm wrestling exercise machine in Project Snowman so I can work out while I'm going down the highway. So I'll have to get Blake and the boys to come over and challenge old Twin Six to an arm wrestle. But that's great. So with that, I'm going to wrap the episode up there. Thanks again for watching all the way to the end. Friendly reminder to go check out the American Truck Historical Society at aths.org. Sign yourself up, get a membership, get the Wheels of Time magazine, and help contribute to a great organization. Thanks to all the sponsors and all the support, and all the great fans out there. And most of all, thanks to you, the viewer, for watching all this all the way to the end. Feel free to comment down below. I read every comment, good, bad, or otherwise, and I appreciate them all. So with that, I'll wrap it up there. Thanks again for watching. See you next week, and don't ever forget, if you got it, truckers brought it.
Call this here vehicle Maybelline.
Hello, Maybelline.
Yeah, this is my baby. Come on.
There it is, 65 Ford Mustang V8. It's the last time you turned this thing over.
She's been dead for 15 years.
Mind if I give it a try?
Dead issue, Frank.
Nothing's dead around here until it's buried, is it?
Inside my car, I'll take it anywhere you wanna go. But you got to have your try, then you know I love. But now I'm sure you know. I feel like Johnson. Yeah, that's it. Johnson.